Hey guys, how's it going today? Hope you're having a really great morning. I'm gonna go ahead and do a really quick flow and move through it pretty quickly, and it might be a little bit challenging today. So you might want to have a block or some sort of prop handy, and a strap if you need it, if you use any type of strap. You can also use a belt if you don't have anything like that, or maybe like a long sock if you wanted to use that as a strap instead. So we'll go ahead and get started on our mats, and you can start on your knees or in a comfortable seated position if you would like. So we'll go ahead and come down, get situated, get comfortable, close the eyes, take a few breaths to get centered into the space. So you always want to start your practice either seated or standing, and maybe close the eyes for a few moments and take a few deep breaths to kind of switch into your practice. So we'll all close the eyes, seal the lips, put a big smile on your face, and take a couple of breaths here to transition into this space, this time that you are giving to yourself for practice. And then bring the hands together in front of your heart. And as you feel the thumbs connecting to your heart, reach the crown of the head as high to the sky as possible. Feel the sit bones grounding into the floor. And then you'll take this next few breaths here to invite your intention into your day. So again, pausing to readjust our focus, turning all of our focus inward. And then how do you want your day to be? Imagine being kind and positive, happy. Take one more breath into your intention for the day. And then blink the eyes open. Keep the smile on your face if you can. And we're going to go ahead and come over into table pose. When you come into table pose, again, the wrists are right underneath the shoulders, and you'll spread the fingers nice and wide, and the knees are underneath the hips. You'll push the tailbone back to the back of the room, and then tuck the chin so that the ears are in line with your shoulders. Press the floor away, and then screw the palms into the floor, and you're rotating the weight in between the pointer finger and your thumb. As you press the earth away, feel that slight spread between the shoulder blades. And you're also pulling the navel to the spine as well. Reach the head forward, booty reaches back. Take one more breath here. And then you're going to step the right foot forward to the front in between the hands. So frame the foot with the hands. Make sure that the ankle is right underneath the knee, and then pause here. I want you to tuck the left toes under and just heel or scoot the left knee back with the toes just slightly so that you have a little bit more of a stretch in front of that left hip. And then sink down into the hips. Bring the hands onto that right knee to come up. Before we lift the arms, I want you to think about pushing the hip points forward. Don't let the knee pass the ankle, and then sink into the pose. So when you do that, then the hips will sink down. Reach the heart forward. Pull the shoulder blades together behind the back, and then now extend the arms up. Arms are right alongside the ears. The core is engaged. And you'll still feel the shoulders and the hips pointing forward. Take one more breath to find length through the arms. And then very gently bring the hands all the way down to the floor. Begin to bring the heel up. Bring the heel onto the floor, and the toes are going to point up to the ceiling. So you'll walk the hands back, coming into half splits. When you do that, don't let the hips swing out to the left. Hug everything into center, and then reach the heart forward. Think about lengthening the torso down the right thigh. As you come into the half splits, you can even walk that Right foot forward just a little bit more to get more length in the back of the right leg. Once you find that spot to settle in, take a couple of breaths. Be very still so that the body can settle into the pose. Take one more breath in and a big breath out. And then begin to walk the foot forward once again. Make sure that the ankle is right underneath the knee, and then plant the left palm onto the floor. Inhale to spiral the right arm up. Come into your twist. As you press the left palm into the floor, use these right fingertips to reach the heart up closer to the ceiling and open up through the chest. You're still pulling the navel to the spine to help with the twist. And then maybe you begin to open up through the chest on that right side. Your option here is to stay here, or you can bend the left knee, reach back with the right hand for the foot. So if you can reach the foot, that's great. If not, then maybe you just reach the hand in that direction. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then inhale to come back down. Right hand comes back to the floor. Engage the core, rise up into your low lunge. Arms right alongside the ears. Take one more big breath in. Use the exhale to come all the way down to the floor. Hands come down, bring the right knee back in line with the left. And then you're gonna just scoot the right foot out a little bit. It's not going to be, the ankle is not going to be in line with the knee. Press into the right hand and then step the left foot back. So I'll show you from the side. So what I did was I scooted my right foot out. I'm going to come onto the side, use the top foot, the left foot to balance you, and then press into that right palm. Left hand can come onto the hip. So you can choose to stay here, or maybe you begin to extend that left foot up and extend the left arm up. If you extend the left leg back, make sure that the ankle stays in line with the hip, and then press all of the weight into the hand. Use the left fingertips to get a little bit lighter in the right wrist. Take one more breath here. And then very gently, left hand comes back down, followed by the left knee. Make sure that the knees are in line with one another. Ground the palms into the floor, reach the heart forward, close the eyes, and then you'll do a couple of cat-cows. So inhale the heart forward, look up to the ceiling, and then round the back as you exhale, spread the shoulders to cat. Inhale to lengthen the heart forward, tailbone back. Exhale to round. Do that one more time on your own. And then let's go to the other side. Step the left foot forward now. Make sure that the ankle is underneath the knee. And then you can use the right toes to scoot the right knee back if you want a little bit more space in front of that right hip. Ground into the floor, engage the core, and then when you're ready, you'll rise up into your lunge. Arms right alongside the ears. Scoot the fingertips as high to the ceiling as possible, but wiggle the shoulder blades down the back. Hip points and shoulders are pointing to the front. Take another full breath here. And then you'll bring the hands down to the floor. Left foot is going to walk forward just a little bit so you can come onto the heel coming into your half splits. Reach the ball of the left foot forward. Make sure that the right hip doesn't swing out, and hug everything into the center. Heart reaches towards the toes, and then you can hinge over that front left leg. Take a couple of breaths here. Feel the shoulder blades soften down the back. Continue to lengthen through the torso, trying to reach the heart towards your toes. Take one more full breath. And then you'll begin to walk the foot forward, frame the foot with the hands, right palm grounds into the floor. Inhale to spiral the left hand up. As you ground the right hand into the floor, use the left fingertips to help open up through the chest. Take a full cycle of breath here to settle. Relax the left shoulder. And then your option here is to stay here or to bend that right knee. Reach back for the foot with the hand. If you can grab the foot, great. If not, no worries. Just reach the hand in that direction. You'll gaze towards the foot if you're reaching. Navel comes to the spine to help you twist. Take one more full breath. Gently inhale to unwind. Hands come back down to the floor. On your next inhale, rise back up into your low lunge. Soften the shoulders down the back. Reach the fingertips up. Take one more full breath. Hands come down to the floor. Bring that left knee in line with the right. And then again, make that little kickstand with the left foot. So you'll bring the left foot out of line with the knee. Begin to bring all of the weight into that left hand. Step the right foot back in line with the left knee. Have the foot onto the floor. So you'll start with the gaze neutral, looking forward. Right hand on the hip. And then your choice if you want to stay here or if you want to lift the right leg, having the ankle in line with the right hip. You can also add the right hand, extending it up to the ceiling. Take a full cycle of breath wherever you choose to be. And then take one more breath to feel into this side. Look down to the floor. Bring the right hand down, followed by the right knee back in line. Make sure that the knees are in line with one another and right underneath the hips, and then close the eyes for a couple of cat-cows. Inhale the heart forward, gaze is up towards the ceiling. When you exhale, you'll round the back, spread the shoulders, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale to lengthen, reach the heart forward. Exhale to round. You do one more with your own breath. And then you'll step the knees back just slightly. Tuck the toes, press into the palms, and find your downward facing dog. Lift the hips as high as possible. You want to look like that upside down V. And as you press the mat forward and down, can you soften the shoulders away from the ears? Take two more breaths. Look forward. Very gently, you can either walk or hop your feet to your hands. Come into a forward fold. Feet are hip width distance apart. Grab onto opposite elbows. And then just roll the weight into the toes. And bring the heart a little bit closer to the front of the thighs. You can sway from side to side to get into the low back and hips. Make sure you're still breathing in and out of the nose. Take one more full breath. And then you'll release the fingertips for the earth. As you inhale, come up halfway, bring the hands to the shins. Crown reaches forward. Keep the chin tucked in the ears in line with the shoulders. And as you exhale, you'll forward fold. Navel comes towards the spine. Inhale one more time, halfway. Hands come to the shins. Reach the crown forward, shoulders reach down the back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, bring the arms out to a T. Inhale to rise all the way up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale to pull the hands to the heart, closing the eyes at the same time. Keep the hands at the heart. Bring that smile back to your face. Remember your intention. Take a full cycle of breath to pause here. Hands come to the hips. Blink the eyes open if they're not. And then you're going to step the left foot to the back of the mat. And I want you to rotate the heel down so you'll come into your warrior two. So the front heel, if you drew a line, should intersect with the back heel or the back arch. And those back toes are slightly pointed forward. When you sink into the knee, don't let the knee go past the ankle. Make sure that it stays right over the ankle. And then you'll open your heart up to the wide side of your mat. So I'm facing you, so it would be, if I was on the mat, I would be on the wide side of the mat. So open your arms up as you open up through the chest. Extend the arms out like a T. When you sink down, you'll scoop this right glute right underneath the hip, and that's going to help point the knee forward. So sink into the knee, scoop the hip underneath, open the chest to the wide side of the mat, and extend the arms out to a T. The gaze is going to go right over the front middle finger. Warrior two pose. So as you soften the shoulders here, keep pressing into both feet evenly. Take one more full breath. And then stay like this with the legs. Flip the palm. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. Left hand comes down the back of the thigh, gaze into the front palm. Keep the bend in your right knee. Take another full breath. As you inhale, come back to warrior two. Keep the legs. Pause here for your exhale. On your next inhale, straighten through the front leg. Don't hyperextend. So if you tend to hyperextend that knee, you want to put a slight bend in the knee to protect the knee. Extend the right fingertips forward. And when you exhale, bring the right hand gently down to your shin and the left hand up to the ceiling, coming into triangle pose. Rotate the inner right thigh down. It's almost like you're pressing into the ball of the right foot even more. And then this hand, you see how it's nice and light. I'm not just dumping the weight here. It's nice and light here because we don't want to put all that weight there. We want to still use the core. Use the left fingertips to open you up through the chest. Extend the fingertips a little bit higher to the ceiling. And then smile. You should be feeling this a little bit here on the left side, maybe in the left hip, down the left glute. Take one more full breath. And then you'll look forward. Put a bend back in that front knee. Extend the fingertips away from one another, warrior two. Big breath in to lengthen the spine up. Now, as you exhale, bring the right forearm now down to the right thigh. So you're going to gently place it here. Don't dump all the weight and slump there. Gently use the core or the forearm onto the thigh, and you'll use the core to keep engaged. And then again, rotate the heart open. You'll use those right ribs, the bottom ribs, to help rotate the torso. And then you can extend the left fingertips back up. So side angle pose. Your other options here, if you want to go a little bit further, would be to go into half moon. So to do that, I'll demonstrate. You'll look down at the floor. You'll bring the right hand, the right thumb, in line with the pinky toe. And then as you bring all of the weight into the right foot and into the right hand, extend the left leg back. Keep the left fingertips extending up. Feel the left ankle in line with the left hip. You can always stay in that side angle pose, but again, you can always try this too. Try your balance. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then gently put a bend back in that front knee and step back into your warrior two pose. Nice and gentle and slow. Take a big, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Hands come to the hips, straighten through the legs, step back to the top of your mat. So we'll pause here, close the eyes, extend the arms down by your sides, and just root the feet into the floor. Lift up through the chest, tuck the chin. Feel like there was somebody pulling a string on the top of your head up to the ceiling. With the eyes closed, take 2 slow, deep breaths. And then blink the eyes open. Hands come to the hips. You'll step the right foot to the back of the mat now. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate facing you this time. As you step the foot to the back of the mat, make sure that the front heel is going to intersect with the back heel or the back arch. And then the right toes are slightly pointed to the front. Scoop the left glute underneath the hip. Make sure that the left knee is pointing towards the middle toe. Open the heart up to the wide side of the mat. Extend the fingertips out to a T, and then gaze over that front middle finger. Take a full cycle of breath here. Take one more full breath. And then you'll flip the hand, take a big inhale. As you exhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand comes down the back of the right thigh. Gaze into the left palm, and then feel the shoulder softening away from the ear. You'll feel the space along the left side of the torso. Take one more full breath. Inhale to come back into warrior 2. Pause for your exhale. Straighten through the front knee. Make sure you're not hyperextending. Put a slight bend in it if you tend to hyperextend. And then you'll reach the left fingertips forward. When you exhale, bring the left hand gently down to your shin or your thigh. The right hand can extend up to the ceiling. Your gaze is forward, so then that way you protect the neck or it's down to the floor. Rotate the left ball of the foot into the mat and extend the right fingertips up. If that's too much for the right hand, then you can always bring the right hand to the right hip. And then wherever you are, rotate the left ribs towards the right. Open up through the chest. Take one more full breath. Look down at the floor. Come back into your warrior 2. Put a bend in that front knee. Extend the fingertips away from one another. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, the forearm is going to come down to that right thigh. Make sure you're still scooping the hip underneath, opening up through that right hip. And then as you bring the forearm down to the thigh, right hand can start at the right hip. Remember, we're rotating the left ribs forward so we can open up through the chest. Keep pressing into both feet evenly, and then choose if you want to extend the right hand up to the ceiling. So this is side angle pose. We're in this extension on our side, opening up through the chest, opening up through the right side of the torso. You can choose to stay here, or if you want to go into that half moon, you're going to look down at the floor, bring the left thumb in line with the left pinky toe about maybe a foot or so above the foot. And then bring the weight into the left foot and the left palm as you extend the right leg to the back. So keep the right ankle in line with the right hip. That right hand can be extended. You can bring it back to the right hip. Feel the left ribs rotating to the left. Find your balance. Come back to your breath. Take one more cycle. And then gently see if you can come with control back into warrior 2, bending back into that front knee. Extend the fingertips away from one another. Big, deep breath in and a deep breath out. Hands come to the hips, straighten through that front leg, step to the front of the mat, close the eyes, ground the feet into the floor, lift up through the torso, pull the shoulders behind you, And then tuck the chin just slightly, like somebody was pulling that string on the crown of the head. Find your breath. Take one more full breath in and out. And then come back onto the floor. Come to kneeling to start before we come all the way seated. So as you come onto the shins, sit the sit bones back onto the heels. Core is engaged, so you can lift up through the chest. Hands come to the thighs. Take a big, deep breath in. Pull the shoulder blades together behind the back. And a full exhale out. See if you can let the spine settle on the tops of the heels. If that's too much for the tops of the shins, you can always lean forward. Over time, though, as you sit here a little bit longer, each little moment will help give you those micro movements to be able to sit longer and longer. So we'll close the eyes, take 2 deep breaths. So blink the eyes open. Inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, you're going to stay here, but just twist gently to the right. Bring the left hand on top of the thigh. The right hand is just going to come behind you. You can even wrap it around the back of the waist so that the back of the hand is on the low back. Lengthen through the spine, gaze over that right shoulder. Take one more full breath. And then you'll inhale to unwind. Exhale to come over to the opposite side. Right hand on top of the left thigh. Gaze over the back of the left shoulder. Take a full cycle here. Inhale to come back into center. We're going to come now all the way down onto the floor seated. Bring the soles of the feet together. So some people call this butterfly. It could be called bound angle. You'll hold your feet like you're reading a book. Hinge forward so that the elbows can press into the thighs. And that's what you're going to use to help open and widen the thighs. And you can find that sweet spot. If you want to go a little bit further, then keep bringing the heart towards the toes. Keep the chin tucked with a flat back. And then again, you're thinking about the heart coming to the toes instead of rounding the back today. Take another full cycle of breath to settle. Soften the shoulders. One more inhale in. One more exhale out. Stack the spine, shoulders over the hips. Extend the legs out in front of you. Flex the feet. Inhale to lengthen. And then as you exhale, you're going to walk the hands forward. This time you can round the back, tuck the chin. At the same time, though, keep lengthening the crown of the head towards the toes. Take one more full breath in and out to settle. And then you'll walk the hands back towards the torso. Cross the legs, ground the sit bones so you can rock from side to side so that that way it's comfortable. And then you'll bring the hands together in front of the heart. Close your eyes. Make sure that the lips are sealed. Bring all of your awareness back to your breath in and out of the nose. And then take this final breath here back into your intention for the day. Put a smile back on your face. Blink the eyes open. Namaste. Hope you guys all have a really, really great day. Hope that you were able to get moving. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll do this again later in the week. Hope you have a great